Emma and Kate. I'm not gonna keep you for too long. Emma and Kate have just finished doing the Daring and Mighty Love online program. And hi, Emma.
Hi.
Hi, Kate. Hi. So they just finished the Daring and Mighty Love online program, and they were in my mastermind. So we had a lot more group coaching calls. They had a lot more private calls. There was a lot more to that program. But what they're going to speak to tonight is what I was going to have a quick chat about is how they did the elements that I just shared there that you guys did. I would love to talk to you about that. So first of all, how are you both?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, good. What do I want to ask you first? Okay, so both of you, we met during a 5-day challenge, and I made an offer like I'm doing tonight. You heard that before, and we had a call, and you decided we'd go on and work together. So you are in the position that a bunch of the women here are in now. What was your biggest block to going forward with the work? Who wants to start? What was your biggest resistance, biggest fear,
I don't mind starting. I have to say there was just more than one. So there were many blocks that I think that I had. I'm really happy in my life, and I've always been in that position, and I'm very fortunate for that. But there's this, with that comes the element of, if I do meet somebody, will that change how my life is? So that was one big block. Another block was, I don't think I'm going to meet my man online. There's no way I'm going to meet my man online. That's not where he's going to be. Where I live is, not ideal for dating. My age, I'm a little bit too old for dating. And so there were so many blocks. But I've been doing quite a lot of self-work in the build-up, and then I joined your 5-day program because I think it really opened my eyes and complemented to some of the work that I'd been doing previously. So I'll let Kate.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing, Emma. Kate?
My blocks were, I think I had 3 main ones. One was I'd done a little bit of work before, so I kind of thought, hey, I'm a bit of a pro. What else can I learn from this when I've already sort of dipped a toe in and done some work? The other block was money. It's a big investment to make, and I made up all sorts of excuses in my head of why I couldn't justify that money. And the third one was the time. I'm a busy single mum, and when you go through what you've just shown there, there's a fear there that it's too much work and I don't have time to do that and I can't do it. All of those blocks were completely untrue, but when I was in the stage that the ladies that are joining you at the minute, they were the big ones for me.
So what was untrue about those then?
I learned so much. I mean, I felt like I'd done a lot of work before, but I'd barely scratched the surface when we'd gone through all of these modules. And actually, even when some of the modules came up, I thought, oh yeah, I know about this one. I've done this one, and it just wasn't true, because it just goes into such detail and a depth that it's not even it's detail. It's the fact that the way the questions and the work is put to you, you discover all these things about yourself that you just didn't know. It's not difficult to do or time consuming. It just seems to get into the crux of the answers that you need to find for yourself. And obviously we all had common themes, but they were different for all of us and personal to everyone. And the money, I made it work. We all make it work.
You had a bit of a money miracle in the end as well.
I did have some, and you did say this on the call. You're like, you'd be amazed the amount of people that sign up to this, and then money appears, and it did for me. And when you break it down into what you get for all of the investment, it really isn't that expensive. But it just, when you look at the number, you just think, oh, that's a big number. And in terms of the time, it's you make the time, and it works, and it didn't ever feel like a chore or heavy or too much. And I think we all went at slightly different paces, and there were some weeks where maybe you had a busy week and birthdays or life things happened, and
GCSE exams.
Yes, GCSE exams in my house, and things happened and things got delayed, but there was we've all got there in the end together, haven't we? So yeah, all of my beliefs were not true.
Yeah, that's so true. Emma, did you want to chime in on any of that in terms of overcoming resistances to investing in the program?
I probably can just echo what Kate had there. There was, I'd already done maybe a course the year before, and that had been quite an investment. So I was like, oh, do I want to invest again? And then I kind of sat with myself and I was like, personal growth is really important to me. So after having a few words with myself, and I actually got a bonus a few weeks after I signed up as well. So again, and
a bonus, and Kate got a promotion and pay rise. Is that
I
it?
did, yeah.
And the content is brilliant, and there's such a huge amount that you can take from it that it's worth every penny. I'd absolutely echo
I think the other thing as well is because you get lifetime access, you can keep going back to this. It's not like we're at the stage now where we're coming to the end where that's it, and you worry you're going to forget about it all. There's modules I want to go back to and do again, and I'm sure in the years that follow, we're evolving all the time, we're in different places. It's good to go back and do it all. So you really do have that for forever.
Yeah, so true, so true. And most women that I work with, initially they're very nervous about group coaching. Would you like to share how you felt about group coaching to start with and what your actual experience was?
Horrified is probably the best word. And I think we were all quite similar in that respect. We weren't used to, I think also if you've been single for quite a while, you don't have that intimate partner. And whilst you might have girlfriends, you don't talk at a depth and a level that we spoke about. But I think I learned from the very first call that we had that I had a fear that the way I felt, nobody else could feel, and it was just me and nobody else. Everyone would think I was mad or silly, and we all felt pretty much the same. And actually, I learned so much from the group coaching because there were things that came up for me that I didn't even realize were there when other people spoke about them, and I was like, oh, I feel like that too. So there was just
you get coached when someone else is getting coached.
Absolutely.
By osmosis almost, isn't it?
And there's a real comfort in knowing that you're not going mad and it's not just you, and just to hear how you feel on those nights when it all feels really hard and difficult, to hear those words coming out of someone else's mouth is there's such a sort of comfort and an understanding in that I wasn't prepared for, I think, before we started.
Yeah, totally. Sarah is actually just saying, would you believe that I was terrified of the idea of group or any coaching, but it was the best. Sarah, you haven't done nearly enough emojis in that comment. It's not like you.
And I would also add that we've had some really good laughs as well.
Yes, of course. You've got to have a bit of fun. Oh my God.
Otherwise, heavy and sad, and it's been quite light as well. So
yes, always. Emma?
Yeah, I loved the group coaching, and at first I'm a bit of an introvert, so I was a bit like, oh, this is going to be a bit out of my comfort zone. But actually, I did your 5-day challenge twice, so I did it once before didn't sign up because the timing was a bit out. So then I did it, I repeated it, and when I repeated the coaching, I was in a better place and had more time, and I really forced myself to actually I got selected, I guess, as you do your selection, and I came on in that 5-day challenge. So that was my first kind of exposure maybe to coaching in front of others and on a screen. So when I went into the Daring and Mighty, I was probably a bit more comfortable with it, and I think we gelled really quickly as a group, even though we're all completely different and have different concerns, different blockages, different limiting beliefs. I think we've really supported each other, and that's what I love, the community, the positivity, the support from everybody else as well. So yeah,
I
and
think
the
it's, you know, we all think we've got our own blocks, which clearly we have, but I think we've all coached each other as well. You know, we've been able to offer each other insights, whether it's our own experience or you can see from what that person's saying or posting. And that's been a nice aspect to it that I wasn't expecting as well.
Yeah, because you're all very wise women, intelligent women, big-hearted women, got some life experience. Like, you have the ability to help each other as well. You know, you don't have to wait for me to be available for a coaching call, you know? Yeah, totally, totally. I'm aware of the time. So final word from each of you, and I'll let you go back to your evenings and children and cats and things.
I would say you will get so much more from it than just trying to find a partner or a soulmate. It almost sort of, it doesn't go away, but it becomes a bit of a sideline, because the real investment is in yourself. And I just think I think you mentioned earlier, it can change your career, your relationship with your friends and family and everyone. There's a real, I feel like I know myself for the first time ever, and that's not going to go away. And when I meet my man, it's just the icing on the cake. Whereas when I started, it was, the sole focus.
Yeah, totally. Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Kate. Yeah, so true for you. I really have witnessed that in you.
Yeah, and I think the biggest takeaways for me so far, and I've still got stuff, I've even realized today that I need to go down another layer on some things, is forgiving myself, and really, this is the first time I think I've ever can admit that I actually might even like myself and love myself, and it's taken me 45 years to get there, which is quite something. And as Kate said, when I meet my man, that will be the icing on the cake. And it's been your intuitive coaching, Katie, is phenomenal, and you've helped all of us to get past some of these blockages and limiting beliefs, and really change how we think about things. And actually my language has changed slightly. It still needs some work, but most of the time I'm much more positive with my language, and I think that makes a huge difference.
Can I just add one more thing? When I was in the position that people on this call are now, I was in my head going, yeah, well, it might work for you, but it's not going to work for me. Problems are different, or you don't understand. Blah, blah. And here I am saying these things. So if any of the people on the call are thinking that, then I just want to say I thought that too, and it's not true.
Yeah, go for it.
I love you both so much. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with me. I really appreciate it. I know it's a little bit later than we'd hoped. So I really appreciate it. Love you. I'll see you all on the next call.
Indeed. Have a good rest of the call. Bye.
Your evening. Bye, darlings. Oh, they're amazing. Amazing.